Hello, everyone. Today I want to do something that is honestly out of my comfort zone. And if you have already seen the title of this video and have been on my channel in the last 2 years, you might be wondering, how is this out of her comfort zone? She talks about how much she loves BTS and Jungkook all the time. And I do. This is true. But this is out of my comfort zone because even though I often make videos for the BTS members for their birthdays, or lately, randomly, since I had missed a couple of birthdays, um, this time around, I'm making this because I've never really delved beyond surface level when it comes to like my reasoning for really loving Jungkook. I've tried to multiple times, but I have difficulty really expressing my feelings when it comes to Jungkook because they're, to be frank, a tangled up mess. And today, to really explain my reasons for loving Jungkook as much as I do, I have to talk about an incident that happened, I believe, 2 days ago at this point. So, at a concert in Paris, Jungkook went out into the crowd and he was nearly mobbed while he was trying to see a fan who was in a wheelchair. And I'm not really going to discuss the fans in the crowd and how disrespectful they were to Jungkook by, swarming him the way that they did. I'm not going to discuss that because that's not the point of this video. And I don't want to give attention to that because, again, not the point of this video. And I don't want to give attention to bad behavior. So what I want to focus on is just the action that Jungkook took in the first place. The fact that because as a performer and because he has been a K-pop star for many years now, since 2013, I am certain that he was well aware of what he was doing when he went out into that crowd. He's had incidents in the past, and the other members as well they've had incidents in the past where fans have swarmed them or tried to get too close to them and have been all up in their personal space in the past. It has happened in the past, so he is aware of things like that happening. When Jungkook went out into the crowd, it was pretty much at the end of the show. The sort of instrumental of Microcosmos was playing, and all the members were saying goodbye. And at this point, that is when Jungkook goes into the crowd. And the way that the girl who was in the wheelchair described it, because she did make posts on Twitter, I found this out through a video of someone covering the incident, someone talking about it, and he shared her Twitter post. And she talked about how she was sitting in the section, the VIP section on the floor, and basically because of the fact that she was in a wheelchair, she had to negotiate with security to be allowed to stay in that section, for safety reasons. She had to negotiate with security about that because she actually wasn't supposed to be in that section because it wasn't a handicapped section in that way, but she and her father negotiated and security allowed it. And Jungkook probably saw her, all the members. She described, what the show was like and how, sometimes the members would point to her and interact with her during the show. So Jungkook probably saw her and interacted with her, like just with eye contact throughout the whole show. And when he performs Euphoria, he flies over the crowd. And I think in his most recent V Live, he talked about how he's able to see expressions, the look in people's eyes and how much they enjoyed it. And I'm sure that when he was flying over the crowd that night, he looked at her and, not only, he didn't, most likely, I'm not going to make assumptions about what he was thinking, but just if I were in his shoes, if I saw her and I saw how much she was enjoying herself and saw that, despite her disability, she was still going out and living and doing the things that she wanted to do, that would be an inspiration to me, even as a performer. And of course, I would want to go out to her and tell her, thank you for being here. And, for taking some of these safety risks to be here in this particular area where wheelchairs actually weren't supposed to be. So it does not surprise me that Jungkook jumped out into the crowd to go and thank her and express that to her. And he made it an unforgettable experience for her in a positive way. And she's always going to remember that and be grateful for the fact that he came out and went out of his way and in some ways risked his own safety just to see her, just to talk to her and express that gratitude. And it is because of things like this and other actions that Jungkook has taken like this that to the rest of us seem like, in some ways abnormal for like how much he goes out of his way to help people sometimes. That these are the reasons why I adore him so much. These are the reasons why he means so much to me, because of his purity of heart and because of his courageous spirit, how he will go out of his way, not just for the people he loves, but for complete strangers who he may never, ever see again. And that is so special, especially in the type of world that we are living in today. That is incredibly special. And in some ways, that is something that is completely unique to Jungkook. I know that Jungkook often compares himself to the other members. He talks about that a lot. Even in Burn the Stage, he was talking about how he feels he's a mixture of all the members and kind of like, all of their best traits, are with him. And that is certainly true. He does have a lot of their traits. But he also has traits that, again, are unique to him, that are special, that are just purely him, that no one could duplicate anywhere in the world. And he often compares himself to the other members, and sometimes he'll say things like, I think in his most recent V Live, he was saying how, he wished he was more like RM, like wishing that, he had more of his intelligence and things like that. And like that honestly hurt a lot when he said that, because sometimes I feel like Jungkook does not see himself clearly at all. And that's not a criticism of him. That's just how I feel, because, I guess I just wish that Jungkook saw himself the way I and many others see him. He is a wonderful person. He's always saying how he wants to be a wonderful person, and he already is. And I want him to see that for himself. And while I don't want him risking his safety to do these types of things, these types of wonderful, kind things that he does, at the same time, I don't want this particular incident or the fact that he got mobbed to discourage him from being the kind-hearted, wonderful person that he is. He has an amazingly beautiful heart, and I don't want him to lose that because of things like this, because over time, if you deal with this type of stuff enough, it can detract you from wanting to be kind and good to people. And I don't want to see that for him. That's something that I've dealt with a lot in my life, and I don't want that for him at all. Because, again, that type of kindness and that type of love that he has for people is special. And not a lot of people really have that. And I just don't want him to lose that. Because that is the reason why I love him so much. Why he means so much to me. He is very kind, and he has a very pure heart. I realize I don't know him. And I realize that, the chances of me getting to know him, I may never get the chance to do that, but I believe in him, and I just know for certain that he has a beautiful heart. I don't have to think twice about it. I know. And I wouldn't be the same. The fact that he chose at such a young age to follow his dreams and, go on this big grand adventure for his dreams, and face all of the fears that he must have had going into it, and being able to do that at such a young age and be at the position that he is now, um, at 21, internationally speaking, it's just, it's inspiring. And I wish I was half as brave because I am a big scaredy cat and I'm afraid of everything. And but seeing Jungkook do this sort of thing, and especially because he's younger than me too. Jungkook is 3 years younger than me. And seeing him do these sorts of things and being that kind, and being brave enough to do the things that are hard, it's just, it's inspiring to me, and it makes me feel like I can be brave too. I have the utmost respect for Jungkook, not just for making a difference in me and in my life and my heart, but also for the difference he has made in other people's lives as well. I really appreciate him for the type of person that he is. And again, I realize I don't know him, but I just believe in him. I believe in him a lot, and I thank God for him because I know that I would not be the same. Before I got into BTS, I was a different person. I was dealing with a lot of things that were making me really sad. And I had kind of given up. And I just know that I didn't appreciate some of the traits that I had that were good about me. And I saw a lot of those traits that I didn't appreciate about myself in Jungkook. And loving him has helped me to love myself. And, there's, I can't even begin to describe how wonderful that is. And I thank God for Jungkook. He is an amazing person. And even though he does not know me and I don't actually know him, I consider him my friend. And so, this is hard. Okay. Even though I don't know him and he doesn't know me, I consider him my friend. And I have a request of anyone who is a fan and of people who aren't fans, whoever. I only ask one thing. Do not hurt my friend, okay? Don't hurt my friend. If he does something like that again, which hopefully he'll find a safer way of going about doing something like that, but let's say if he did something like this again, please do not invade his space. Let him be a normal person, because underneath all of the music and the personas and all of that, Jungkook is a regular person. He's just a normal guy with big dreams and a really extravagant career. And the things that make him extraordinary are not that career. And it's not the fact that he's talented and handsome. Those are bonuses. But the things that make him amazing are the things that are in his heart. And so I just ask that you guys pay attention to what is in his heart. Pay attention to the things that he says. And yeah, just pay attention more to those things. And, treat him as you would want to be treated if you were in his position, if you were in his shoes. Because no one wants their space invaded, and no one wants to feel like they can't do good things for people because of their status or whatever. So I just ask that you do that for him. Do that for my friend. And Jungkook, if you ever see this, I just want you to know that I love you. I will always love you. I thank God for you. And I hope you will be happy in all aspects of your life, whether I get a chance to meet you or get to know you or not. I just hope that you will be happy, because you made me very happy. And you and BTS and your music, and just by being the person that you are and by them being who they are, all of you have made a lasting impact on my life, and I will always be grateful for that no matter what. So thank you. Thank you for inspiring me. Thank you for being you. And you're good enough just the way you are. And you don't need to be any different. Just continue to be yourself. That's all I'm asking for, and that's all that anyone should ask you for. Just be yourself. Because the people who matter are gonna love you as you are. And you are plenty good enough as you are. You don't need to be like any of the other members. Just be you. Because you are special and unique and wonderful just the way you are. Okay, I'm done. Goodbye. 사랑해요, Jungkook. Forever and always.